All over the world, numerous amounts of crimes happen in seconds. Some willingly partaking and some unknowingly. But we will never stop spreading the word until the criminals are captured.
Lawsville Sheriff Station Deputy Shalette, how can I help you?
Hi, I'm calling from Joffrey's Restaurant in Malibu.
Yeah.
We have a guest here who is refusing to pay her bill, and we think she sounds really crazy. She may be on drugs or something. We are wondering if someone could come by and pick her up.
Okay, well, what's the address there?
It's 27400 Pacific Coast Highway.
And is she a white, black, Asian, Hispanic?
She's a young black girl. She's probably in her 20s.
Okay, what's she wearing?
She's wearing a black T-shirt and I think blue jeans.
Is she with anybody else?
No, it's just her.
Okay, now, so let's just start off by analyzing the phone call. Okay, so basically, Mitrice refused to pay her bill, and the lady said she was acting, let's say, wacky. And you heard her say, I think she's on something. But the thing is, a lot of people mistake mental illness for people being on drugs. It happens a lot. Everybody who you see walking down the street and talking to themselves and going in spurts and different stuff like that, not everybody is on drugs. Yes, a lot of people are on drugs. And sometimes when they take the drugs and they already have issues, they hallucinate and things of that matter. But not everybody is on drugs. So we need to start realizing what a mental health crisis is, a mental health breakdown is, versus always pushing somebody off to be a drug addict and strung out. So with that being said, we have to be very sensitive to situations. And it sucks because it's like when we go to work, we want to do a job and go home. I know me personally, when I'm on the clock, I'm not thinking about nothing else. I want to do a job and I want to go home. But on your job, things happen, especially when you deal with the public. Sometimes some people don't know how to handle situations. Everybody is not able to handle situations like that. Even if you're trained on how to handle situations, some people just can't react. Some people get choked up and don't know what to do, or it depends on what the situation is. Some people take situations out of context, blow them up bigger than what they are. Some people bring their problems from home to work. So any little thing that bothers them with the customer at work, they will take it to the extent. And then they look back on it and they regret because of how the situation went. And then they say, we could have handled this a little bit differently. Look at the George Floyd fake $20 bill. The boy called the police. Now, when I cashier at jobs, if people come in with fake money, we take the money, we let them know that it's fake, but we don't give it back. And we just tell them to leave the store. We don't call the police about fake money. And I understand it's it's counterfeit and all this stuff, and you can go to jail for that. But we don't call the police, like stuff gets blown out of proportion nowadays. And it's sad because then everybody look back like, man, if we just had a did this, or, didn't take it to that extent, or if we just had a told her, ma'am, just leave, or whatever the case may be, handled it in a different manner and not to that extent, we would not be in this position. But let's go ahead and listen to when her mom called the police station.
Just her.
I am calling. I'm a little frazzled right now. I understand my daughter is being brought into the station. Mitrice Richardson. Have they made it to the station yet? And she's been booked.
Okay, do you know where she's coming from?
It's some restaurant out in Malibu, and I didn't even think to get the name. The manager's name is...
The only place we have somebody that's in custody that they just announced on the radio that they're coming up is from Joffrey's in Pacific Coast Highway. It's the only female that's being brought up to the station as we speak. They actually just put it on the radio right before you called.
Okay. I'm her mother, and are you guys going to book her and then release her on her own recognizance tonight because it's dark, she doesn't have a car, and I don't want her wandering out. I'm totally just taken aback because this is so out of character for her, and you'll see when she comes in, she's well-spoken. I think the only way I will come and get her tonight is if you guys are going to release her tonight. If she's going to be held in custody for some type of arraignment tomorrow, then I will wait until tomorrow. She definitely has no place, she's not from that area, and I would hate to wake up to a morning report, girl lost somewhere with her head chopped off, so I guess I would have to come and get her. Oh, my God.
Yeah, we're in Agoura Hills. The only thing is, at least in the station here, she will be separated, so nobody's going to be with her. So at least that's, the plus thing, so you don't have to worry about her safety.
I feel safe with her being in custody. It's being released, but I'm worried about it. It's crazy out here. All righty. Well, then I will more than likely call and touch bases with you guys a little bit later.
A concerned mother, that's exactly what any other mother or a cousin or whoever, when you have family who's concerned about you and who loves you, anytime they hear something going on or you finna go to jail or whatever, they gonna call the jail. You might not even be at the jail yet. And they gonna call the jail, or they'll wait until you get booked and call the jail to see what the bond is and what are the charges. And they follow up with your court dates and all types of stuff like that. That's just what mothers and grandmothers and dads and close family members do for their children. Now, how did Mitrice's mother find out she was being arrested? We don't know because it didn't say that in the call. She didn't say Mitrice called her, so we don't know. But she found out. Mitrice possibly could have called her. And maybe when she called her, she kind of told her, but maybe she was talking in circles. When you're coherent, but you're not coherent, you know what you're saying, but you can't gather everything someone else is asking you, and you just keep, So anyway, and how ironic, her mother said, I'm trying to get this together before something happens because she doesn't know where she is, and I don't want her lost, and I don't want to hear about this in the morning on the news. How crazy is that? She was trying to put a stop to something before it even started, like a mother should, and it's just crazy how it played out. So let's go ahead and listen to the next recording.
Blackville Sheriff Station, Ojeda, can I help you?
Yes, good morning. My name is Mitrice Richardson. I'm calling to follow up on my daughter who was brought in last night around 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Okay, let me transfer the jailer. Hold on, please.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We'll hold down
Blackville Station, Baumgartner.
Yes, hi. My name is Mitrice Richardson. I called not too long ago regarding my daughter, Mitrice Richardson. How long before a missing persons report can be filed? Is it 24 or 48 hours?
That's normal. Well, it depends on the circumstances, but I didn't take your call, so I'm not familiar with it. Did she just not return home after going out?
She was arrested last night. This is the first time she's been arrested. She's in an unknown area that she's never been in. She's without a vehicle. Nobody can find her.
And where was this at? Where was she arrested at?
Your facility. Her name is Mitrice Richardson.
Okay. Do you know if she's here now, or was she released?
They said she was released.
Okay, and what time was she released?
At just shortly after 12 a.m.
Yeah, normally I wouldn't recommend doing one that soon.
Right. What is the time frame?
You know, I guess probably 24 hours would be reasonable. I mean, if there would be some mitigating factors, you know, where you would suspect maybe something, not right.
She doesn't know the area. She's never been in your area before.
Where does she live?
She is unfamiliar with that area.
Do you think she possibly could have gotten a bus home?
No. Listen, my child has never ridden a bus.
Okay.
No.
Right.
She would not know how to ride a bus.
I would probably wait till, early this morning, and if she doesn't turn up, you can certainly call. I don't suspect anything bad happened. I'm
concerned because, first of all, I thought they were going to keep her overnight because she was highly intoxicated.
Mm-hmm.
Something is obviously going on with her.
Have you talked to the jailer?
Yes, I have. He said he tried to get her disabled because she was an adult. They had to let her go. I believe that she is highly depressed, and she's in a depressive state.
It could be possible that maybe there's a lot of options and a lot of possibilities, and I don't think all of them would be, something dire. But I can certainly understand your fears, being your daughter and all that.
Well, I think she's depressed. That's what has me more.
That's worried you more than just her. Okay.
That and the fact that she's in an area where she doesn't know where she's at.
Yeah. Does she take medication at all?
No, I believe it's a state that she's in right now because of just the weird activities that's been going on.
What's her name?
What's her name? Her name is Mitrice Richardson.
Okay, and your name, ma'am?
Mitrice.
Okay, Mitrice. Here's what I want you to do. Why don't you wait a couple hours and give us some time to I'll go back and talk to the jailer and try and get a timeline of when she was released and, make sure she's not asleep in our lobby or anything like that. And then once you give us a call back in a couple hours, if she hasn't shown up or made contact with you, then maybe we can do something for her.
A mother knows when something is not right, with their child. Her mom knew. Her mom knew something was off. Her mom knew something was completely wrong. She knew. And they're spinning her around. And now, my opinion, this is my personal opinion, okay? Didn't both of the phone calls when the mother called, didn't it sound like the same officer she talked to both times? It sounded like the exact same officer. You can tell, it sounds like the same person both times. And then did you hear what he said? I don't know because I didn't take your call. And why would he say that? I don't know because I didn't take your call. And then he's asking all these questions. Well, where does she live? Notice how the mother spent around that question. Because why are you worried about where she lives? We need to find out where she is. The mother spent around that question if y'all noticed it. Okay? So why in the world is this man asking her mother, is she here or has she been released? Why didn't you say, well, let me get to the bottom of it right now. Let me look it up in the system myself. Because I don't care what department you are when you in the jail, everybody got access to look up inmates. You can look up those inmates. So it's mighty funny how he was like, is she here? Why are you asking her mother? Her mother is calling you for help. You should have been looking in that system trying to figure out is she here or is she gone. He didn't offer any help to her mom on that second phone call. None whatsoever. I just find it kind of funny. But let's go ahead and let's take a listen at the next clip.
Well, Sheriff Station Office, can I help you?
Yeah, hi. Hey, this is Smith at Cold Canyon. We had a prowler walking around through the backyard here, but we don't know what the situation was. I don't know if you have a unit in the area. It might do a little drive-by or something.
Okay, where's this at?
This is Cold Canyon, like hot and cold in Montecito. But it's in the back of the house, which is right where Wood Bluff hits Cold Canyon. And we just had a strange woman walking through the backyard here. It's a fairly large property, and she was sitting on the steps right on the back of the house here. This is kind of a circular driveway, and the gates were closed, so we don't know where this woman came from.
You said the cross was Wood Bluff?
Yeah, that's right. There's a horse trail, hiking trail access through here, but we've never had this kind of thing happen before.
What'd she look like? White, black, Hispanic?
A tall, slim, black woman with afro hair.
About how tall?
Well, she was sitting down, stretched out on the wooden steps in the back of the house. Hard to tell, but she looked like she might have been medium to slightly tall, with a big afro hair, very skinny. And I think she was wearing maybe jeans or tight pants with a T-shirt.
And you've never seen her there before?
No, never. Nobody ever does that. I mean, the people hike on the trail all the time. The trail goes through our property, but we leave it open on purpose because it's kind of a nice thing for horses and people.
And you said she's laying across she was laying across the steps, or?
She was sitting kind of sprawled out on these wooden steps in the back of the house, right against the back of the house.
She's since got up and left?
She's since gone, yeah. She's been gone about 5 minutes now, but as we thought it over, we thought maybe a little drive-by wouldn't be a bad idea.
And what direction was she last seen headed?
Never saw her. Once she left, she just disappeared. I moved from one window to another. I said to her, I hollered down, "Are you all right?" And she said, "I'm just resting," or something like that. But she's certainly gone out of her way to get to that close to the house because the hiking trail is not that close. It's on the ridge.
All right, well, since we haven't checked the area for her.
Appreciate that very much.
Not a problem, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, so they said this call came in at 5:30. Remember, they said she was booked a little after midnight, and then they let her go before, I'll say, morning, like when the sun comes out or whatever. That's kind of crazy. And if you heard her mom say, I didn't think you guys would have released her on her own recognizance because she was intoxicated. I don't know what kind of laws is happening where this was at. I think this was in California. I don't know what kind of laws they got or whatever the case may be, but when you're intoxicated and you go to jail, they not releasing you until you sober up 100%. They not releasing you till you sober up 100%. They make you blow before you leave up out of there to make sure that you're good to go. So something is kind of off with this situation a little bit. I mean, it just doesn't sit well with me. I don't know. Everybody think different, but I'm just saying it's just not sitting too well with me about how they let her go like that. And a lot of jails, I don't know if that jail did this and then they didn't do it for her, but a lot of jails, they even have the officers drop you off when they release you. They'll take you to a certain point. I know out here in Vegas, they will take you to a certain point. When you release, you get in the police car and they'll take you to a certain point. They drop you off at like a halfway mark or something. So I'm not sure because I know laws and stuff are different everywhere, but it just seemed a little bit fishy to me. And so you get this call, it says at 5:30 a.m. shortly after she was released. So now her mother has called hours later. And her mother, when her mother called, she should have been told about this phone call, but she was not told about that phone call. So that goes on to say there is miscommunication with the system. Y'all are officers. There should not be miscommunication about none of this. Anytime anybody calls about anybody, they should know what's going on immediately. Meaning the officers should know how they said no, the man asking her, is she here, is she released? Why you didn't look in the system? You asking her mom like she worked for y'all. And then on top of that, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Anyway, the guy said she was saying, I'm just resting. So it sounded, her mom said she had been having strange behavior and stuff. And sometimes we can do that. The cares of life get to us, especially when we're a sensitive human being and, you know, we get hurt. Sometimes life just gets to us and everyone reacts in different ways, you know? So let's take a look at the next clip.
What one technological advancement do you wish had never been invented?
Cell phones. Although when you're stranded, they help contact your family in the need of a spare tire or just in any need of emergency, but they also cause a lot of accidents and they cause a lot of friendships from forming because as soon as people get out of class, the first thing they want to do is talk on their cell phones. So I just wish that cell phones would be limited to just emergencies only.
Okay, so y'all seen that. Those are some clips that they had released to the media to try to help find her, you know, beautiful girl, beautiful black girl. And as you could see, she was she seemed to be very outgoing. And sometimes we can have issues when we're very outgoing and we're very happy people. We are the people who tend to get hurt the most because we don't hurt people. People hurt us. Because we live freely and we just love life and we want to make friends. And a lot of times you can't make friends because people are just, this day and time is crazy. And then you make friends and you think you have a friend and you don't. It's a lot that goes on with that. Some people can't get over the fact that they can't find a friend. Some people get lonely. I know how it is for me. I don't have no friends. I be like, I wish I had a friend. I used to always pray, God, if you could just bring me one friend that's just my friend and just 100% solid. Because I always felt like I ran across girls who were just like not my cup of tea, or they would portray to be my cup of tea, but then their true colors would come out. And it was just constant betrayal after betrayal after betrayal. And it was like, dang, I just felt like I ain't got nobody. I don't have no friends, you know? And I understand it could get very lonely, but I have learned to love myself and to not care about having friends. But everybody can't get over that. You heard her say cell phones because you can't make friends. When you got out of class, everybody just wants to be on their phone. And that's probably what it was. She wants to make friends. And this world is so caught up in social media. This world is so caught up into the social world, which is a fake world for the most part. Is caught up in all of that. And and a lot of that rubs off on people and their character, and they don't even know who they are because they're living based off of social media. It's hard to find real, genuine people nowadays. So maybe that was one of her issues, feeling like she didn't have a friend. That could really take a toll on someone.
Here 9 years later.
In 9 years, I have never done an interview here.
Where your daughter, Mitrice Richardson, was arrested for allegedly not paying her dinner bill. What happened to her?
A couple of officers came out. at a call that was dispatched from Jeffrey to take her to the nearest hospital. Instead, you took her to the nearby Lost Hills Sheriff Station. And then you felt like we're not going to take her payment from her grandmother. You told her mother she was not going to be released until the next morning. You hid the video
That's
surveillance.
it. I want to hear what y'all got to say down in the comment section. So let's get the comment section cracking. As we continue to pray for the healing of this nation and let God rule and reign, we won't stop fighting. Because most of all, we want justice.